Okay, what's up, y'all? Fuck me. Let me tell you what. I'm into. Jesus. God damn it. Cut that. Stop it. Alright. Just pick it up from here. What's up, y'all? This is The Truth Always First. Again, my identity is concealed. This is renegade journalism. And if anybody's saying it's not renegade journalism, it is renegade journalism, and I'll tell you why. I'm saying stuff about very, very powerful people. Very powerful people. Today I'm talking about Michael Bay, yes. This is a guy who is a legend in the film community. He's made Transformer movies. He made Pain and Gain. He made Titanic. He's done a lot of stuff, and he's worked with a lot of great people. He's very talented. However, up in here, he is, or was, I'm not, people can change. He was at the time when he was in Orlando when I met him. And this was when I was 9 years old. When I met him, he was out of his mind. Okay, this is my version of essentially true Hollywood stories. You know, Charlie Murphy on the Dave Chappelle show had a true Hollywood stories thing. So this is my take on that. True Hollywood stories, of course, feature Charlie Murphy, who was living in Hollywood at the time. His brother Eddie Murphy was very famous, very awesome comedian. Everybody loves him, still does. And Charlie Murphy told these excruciatingly funny stories about Rick James and Prince, and it was very, very unique. And I watched that and I said, this is popular. I should do this too. I have a lot of stories. I hang out with celebrities all the time. Of course, that generates. You can imagine what sort of things I've seen. There's plenty of things that were very, very funny. This is sort of falls in the middle category. There are, on the other hand, things that I have tried to deal with and cope with emotionally. There's things I've seen in Korea, for instance. It's a director. I won't name names now. I do honestly wish I could unsee that. And anyway, Michael Bay. I was very into Nintendo as a child. I remember, I've kind of got an OCD thing. I remember when I got Mario Brothers, I was like, this is so unique. Before Nintendo, you couldn't interact with the television. It was something you turned on and you were passive. You couldn't interact with it. You couldn't watch Sanford and Son and control what Fred Sanford would say. You couldn't control what Lamont would say. You couldn't control what the tall black woman would say. You couldn't control this stuff. Games are a way to interact with television. And let's face it, America is a televised, very television-centric culture. So that's a very important thing. Childhood, very big impact. Mario Brothers, I loved it. I've always loved Italian people. I've always loved Italian food. This was a way to interact with Italian people in a positive way, help little Mario defeat the critters and the mushrooms, and eventually kill the dragon and save the girl. The classic story. I was very into that. I thought I was very good at the time. I overestimated my abilities. When Metroid came out, Metroid was a big blast. Mario, you're controlling an Italian person. That's feasibly possible. Metroid is based in the future. It's sci-fi. I didn't realize at the time it was a girl, and I found out that. It's like, wow, that's a really big, leap for them. Good. I want to play Metroid. I want to be good at it. I got Metroid. I played it for 7 days. I thought I was the best. I was the best in the world. I was not. I was not. Way overestimated my abilities there. I organized a tournament, 25 kids in the neighborhood. I got them all together, and I was very arrogant at the time. I had a big head. Thought I was the best. I looked at them all, and you have to envision me, a small kid. I'm staring at them all. Some of these guys were teenagers. I'm 9. I say, if any of you clowns, that are referred to as clowns, if any of you clowns can beat me at Metroid, I will go down on the corner to Julio's house, the guy that abuses pit bulls so that they're aggressive and they'll protect his, I guess, his backyard. He kept them in the backyard. He didn't walk around them a lot. He seemed to abuse them. I will go down there and fight these people, the pit bulls, barehanded, every one of them, if you beat me in Metroid. This is how much I thought this wouldn't happen. The contest happened, complete failure. I came in last. They confronted me about my promise. I said, obviously I said to them, there is not a chance in hell I'm going to go down there and fight these dogs. If you think I'm going to do that, you're crazy. But what I will do is there's a national tournament in Orlando at Disney World for Metroid. I will go there and redeem my honor and bring it back home, and then I'll rub it in your face, and then we'll see who's with the dog stuff. So I go to Orlando. Again, big failure, 300 people. I was ranked 200 and like in the 280s. God damn it. Okay. Hey, let me call you back. All right. I was in the 280 ranges. And horrible failure. After that competition out of nothing, I came out there with the money I had in my pocket. I was expecting to win 10 grand or whatever it was. Had to support myself in nefarious ways. And I got into some rough crowds that did rough things. And it was a very bad time for a 9-year-old. A 9-year-old at that time in the late 80s, it was a rough time to be in America. It was a rough time to experience hardships in America behind, I think it was Magic Mountain, or they just built something at the time. And I lived behind there in a box, and I was in a gang. I was in a pretty rough gang. We did some stuff. I'm not proud of it. And anyway, Michael Bay at the time lived in Orlando, and he got his kicks from cruising around. He would drive. I remember this. We all used to say, have you seen Michael Bay's limousine? It's huge. It's this huge white limousine. Biggest one in the world. Biggest one ever made. It's in the Smithsonian now. I've seen pictures of it on Wikipedia. In the back of the limousine where he would sit, he had the largest television set at the time. It was the first flat screen, but it was still based on tube technology, so it was very deep, very deep. Biggest one is also in the Smithsonian. He had a Nintendo. It was a super amped up one, and he had a pre-issue copy of, before it came out, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, okay? And Mike Tyson was big at the time. We all love boxing. We all used to talk about Mike Tyson. And he had a special copy. He went to Japan, had it made. He had a Michael Bay character made that he used boxing, and it was like a cheap character. And what he would do is he would drive around, he would pick up vagrants and homeless and kids or whoever on the street, and he'd be like, a power trip. He could come into my limousine, play me in Punch-Out. You can pick any character you want. Any character. No holds barred. I'm going to play my character. I made it. I'll even let you mod your character out with Microsoft Paint and make it a little bit better. And we have a competition. You've never played it before. I have. Therefore, it's awesome. And I got in a thing. He was on a power trip. There was a crystal bowl. I remember this very distinctly. I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought it was powdered sugar. I was like, this guy really loves powdered sugar. And he's snorting it rather than eating it. He had a very long pinky nail in his right hand. Like it was literally 3 inches long. And and he would use it. I remember he would dip in the crystal bowl. He would snort up things. He had cocaine all over his face. I thought powdered sugar is like, this guy's buck wild. I like this. He had girls sitting beside him, champagne. And okay, match starts. I'm like, can I pick Tyson? It's like, yes, I've told you. I've already told you. Please listen to me. Pick anyone you want. I was like, okay, but can I mod him? This is where my street skills from living behind the space deal in the gang. This is where my street skills came into play. It's very important to focus in. In Microsoft Paint, you can draw a square and create fire in the square. I don't know if you've done this. They may not do it anymore. I had a brilliant idea. I'm going to pick Mike Tyson, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set his back on fire and make him even more vicious. This guy's already the best puncher in the world. He's the quickest. He's awesome. I'm going to end this thing real quick. I set his back on fire. Okay, it's pre-round stuff. If you remember, the coaches and the player, you have to talk to your coach, and your coach tells you strategies, and they're telling you blah, 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 blah. Mike Tyson, and I can remember at the time, 8-bit like technology, but still sounded like him. I remember Mike Tyson going, "My back." I'm like, what? Oh, god damn it, it's on fire. My back on fire, man. It's hot. It's very hot. My back is on fire, man. Let me at him. And then he jumps out of his seat and he's like, "No, Michael, the ref, you gotta touch gloves." Goes over and punches Michael Bay's head off. The head hits the screen, slides down. It says the end. The game shuts down, the TV turns off, and out of the side of his Nintendo, a document was printed out, and it said, "You are the grand champion of Mike Tyson Punch Out, and you can come to Japan, one free pass, talk to the Prime Minister, you can see Mount Fuji, you can see what we do. We do sushi. There's a great seafood place. We mentioned some other stuff. This is your award. Frame it and be proud." What did Michael Bay do? Was he a humble loser? Did he congratulate me? No. He took the Nintendo. He said, "You know what? Fuck this. I got better things to do. Fucking make Transformers." He throws it down on the concrete. He says, he points to me, I'll never forget. He says, "You're a fucking peasant compared to me. Get the fuck out of my limousine. Don't ever look at me in the eyes again. Get the fuck out. I own you from now. If I ever see you again, there's gonna be fucking trouble. Now get the fuck out of my limousine. Go back to the box you're living in, you fucking peon." And I went back home, my heart in my hand. I said, "Gang, rally up." I just whooped Michael Bay's ass at Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I just whooped his ass. Meeting adjourned.